Everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Today I want to address an 11+ minute video that was put out by Bloomberg Originals. Michael Bloomberg, he is one of the richest men in the country. He is one of the big funders of gun control for the last, 15, 20 years. And he also runs and funds Everytown for gun safety and Moms Demand Action. This is one of those videos that angers me to make, but I think people need to understand what's going on, even when it's not a hot button topic that we all care about, like pistol braces or ATF and stuff like that. And by the way, thanks to Blackout Coffee for getting me going for this video, because I needed to calm down a little bit. This is the video right here. I'm not going to link to it because I'm not giving them any free publicity or clicks or anything like that. But it's America's biggest public health crisis may be guns. Now, this is a ginormous propaganda piece that was put on by Bloomberg and his many anti-gun tentacles. Although at the end of it, they put up a screen here. You can see that says that while Bloomberg does fund all this stuff, he had no part in making this video, which was produced for his outlets. So yeah, I'm sure he had nothing to do with it. But there were a lot of things that they put forth in this video, and by they I mean these doctors. They chronicle 3 doctors, this person in Chicago here, as well as this couple here from Highland Park area. Now, what this propaganda piece does is here's the story by 3 doctors who are pushing a lot of Joe Biden's anti-gun propaganda that he wants people to hear, so that they become emotionally involved in this and they give in to their emotions and their desire to be good by stripping America of their rights. Now, I'm going to start and preface this by, I am a father of 4 and I care very deeply about the safety of children. However, I would never, ever take away rights from anybody in this country to obtain that goal. I think there has been a huge pendulum shift from parents actually being, I guess, in the real world, where they know they're the defenders of the family. I am the defender of my family. My wife is a defender of this family. It's my job to keep us and our family safe. It's not the government's job. Just like it's not the government's job to make sure that I seek gainful employment and can pay for my responsibilities. It's not the government's job to make sure that I am a solid, upstanding person, and when I give somebody my word, I follow through. The government is only there for like foreign affairs and the few things that the U.S. Constitution says it can do. Everything else that it's gone and grown into is actually unconstitutional. Learn a little bit about history and read the founding documents if you doubt me. But in this video, they talk a lot about injury to children and how we need to get rid of guns and people's rights so that less children are hurt. They've tacked on to, in the last couple of years, 2 years or 3 years, this absolute lie that guns and gun violence, made up terms, gun violence, is the #1 killer of children. And it's an absolute bold-faced lie. What they've done in the last few years leading up to this claim, even when I was still employed at what I used to do, they started to change definitions. Juveniles, they would change the definition of a juvenile, which used to be like 16 and under. Then it was now 18 and under. And when I was still in Massachusetts, there was a goal to change juvenile for anyone under 21 years old. Why would they want to do that? It makes you wonder. Well, you're not a juvenile if you can go to war for them, right? For oil, or to silence other countries, or show up and stop countries from leaving the dollar, right? You're not a juvenile if they need you. You're not a juvenile if they want you to vote for you, right? 18. But for everything else, they use the term child up until the age of 21 now. So why do they do that? Because Americans, anybody, especially parents or people who, caring individuals, statistics can often skew what they think is right. And when you hear now that guns are the biggest killer of children, people are like, well, man, guns must have really become a problem. I must have been asleep. But what they're doing is they're adding in the ages of 18, 19, and 20. Why? Because that's where the gang activity typically is, and the violence associated with them. They're adding all of the gang murders, they're adding all of the gang assaults, they're adding all of the criminal nature of young men and women who are troubled or whatever the reason that they're committing crimes. But they're adding that now as statistics for children so that they can get to this goal here, which is disarming the populace. So that's the big one I want people to understand here. Sorry, this isn't like a typical video. This is something like I need to vent, and you guys and gals need to hear this, and you absolutely need to spread this, because not everybody's watching this Bloomberg video. Not everybody knows the truth. They tend to just hear what the media tells them. They pick and choose what affects them in their lives, and they run with that. They don't actually do the homework. And I'm telling you that this is all verifiable. Even John Lott, I forgot when he did it, but John Lott put this stuff out, and there's nobody more trusted in the industry than John Lott when it comes to statistics. So when you take out the deaths of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, yeah, it's still accidents. Vehicles are still the biggest, unfortunately, the biggest killer of children. It's because of car accidents and other type of household accidents. It's nothing that's done intentional, like someone pointing a gun at them and shooting them. So this is a way to get emotions charged up so that they can try to get those emotional people on their side as a grassroots member and march to get effect in not just in Boston, where I was just thinking about, but in DC as well. So they also say that gun violence is a public health issue. It's not. Criminals doing violent crime against other human beings is a criminal issue. It's a crime issue. It's not a public health issue. Why do they want this to be a public health issue? So that they can shut things down, just like they did with the the things. That's what they want. They want to be able to shut things down by the stroke of a pen by bureaucrats in DC. And I'm not giving up my right to anybody. I don't care if it's a doctor. I don't care if it's a legislator. I'm not giving up my rights. And I hope that a vast majority of Americans feel the same way. They also cite that this quote, this statistic was crazy. They mentioned this thing called the Gun Violence Archive, and all that is it's a group of anti-gunners funding this research center, which does research with the intent is to find a way to skew statistics to make people up in arms about we have to get rid of guns, right? So they said that there were in 2022 there were 647 mass shootings. No, there wasn't. Absolutely not. Again, they've changed the definition of what was a mass shooting. It used to be X amount of people were shot, and then it keeps dwindling down to now if there's like 3 people present and there was a shooting, that's a mass shooting. Present. You don't even have to be part of it. Like, it's crazy. And another thing, this might anger some people, but it needs to be said. The 2 doctors here that were at Highland Park, they're claiming they're a gun violence survivor because they were simply at a location where an event occurred. That to me is America getting as weak as we can possibly get. I call it the David Hogg syndrome. David Hogg wasn't even at the school when the shooting happened, yet he says he's a survivor of that incident. People, for whatever reason, feel the need to have a title for vindication. Like, I live in Johnson City, Tennessee, and there's this crime that happens here. There was a shooting a couple nights ago, I don't know, a few miles from the house. There was a shootout actually at a gas station recently. Does that make me a survivor of a shootout? No. I hope you realize where I'm getting. It's absolutely asinine. Just because you were at a location where something bad happened doesn't make you a survivor of that. If that was the case, then everybody watching this, everybody walking the planet in one way or another would be a survivor of gun violence, of attempted murders, attempted rapes, attempted muggings, carjackings. I was alive on September 11th. Does that make me a survivor of the planes being hijacked? It's absolutely ridiculous. They also say that the rates of gun violence are going up. They're absolutely wrong. Murder rates are dropping steadily, other than the 3-year spike caused by Democrat policies during the and when they wanted to burn this country down in order to effect change at a federal level for offices leading into the 2020 elections. Violence has been going down quite regularly. They also refer to this part here.
Our politicians who enabled this assault weapons ban in 1994 truly were trailblazers at the time. And sadly, the clause was written that it would sundown in 10 years. So from my perspective, we're asking Washington, D.C. to reinitiate a law that was a law. We're not rewriting the history books here. We are asking them to continue the history books.
The rates of gun violence are only going up. As we delved deeper and saw how much of a problem this is, these underserved communities, the health disparities, specifically brown and black communities, having horrific day-to-day gun violence and losing many more brown and black people to gun violence, we realized that we have to really broaden, as physicians, some of our lobbying.
We do know that gun safety policies, such as assault weapon bans, background checks, waiting periods, licensing requirements that most gun owners actually do support, will save lives. And then we know that other policies, for example, that address the root causes of structural racism, inequity, will improve firearm violence in inner city communities.
Now, obviously, this is what they really want, right? They want an assault weapon ban, they want a waiting period, they want universal background checks, they want everything that Joe Biden's been squawking about but can't get done legislatively. Why? Because it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, and they don't have the numbers to ram it through illegally. So they're trying now to get other facets of society to do this. We've already talked about how the police in major cities are turning their backs to freedom, right? We have doctors, and I've been doing this channel for a long time, and those who've been with me for a while will remember I've done videos where doctors started asking children, your children, if there were guns in the home and where they were, and they did it without you being present. And now it's to the point where these doctors are going into meetings at state levels, spilling their inflated stats in order to get local and state politicians to start passing gun control laws, and it's been working. I don't remember the exact number, but according to Everytown, there was like 80 pieces of anti-gun legislation or gun safety legislation that have been passed by local legislatures, via pieces of local legislation. So what they're doing is they're blindsiding groups that aren't in the know to dumbfound them, bewilder them into passing anti-gun bills, into laws and ordinances at the city level. And how do we combat that? The big way we combat that is with education, guys and gals. We have to tell people the truth. Nobody knows these stats are conflated unless they actually read the stuff and understand that the definitions have changed. You can share this video. You can talk about this video with your friends and family at work or whatever. We have to start educating people. Otherwise, the people who stay in the dark and who don't know because they're not seeking this information, they're going to be bamboozled by these dipshits in lab coats. And the politicians will just follow the money and follow the complaints and go the way that they think leads to the next re-election result, and that's it. All right, I got to get off this because I don't know how long this video is now, but I could keep going down this rabbit hole, but I want you guys to understand there's a big push right now by doctors and the like from the Biden administration, and Everytown right now is putting big pressure on the Biden administration. So is Brady, so is Moms. All of those groups are putting big pressure on him right now. They've backed him. They've come out to back him for his re-election. And believe me, they want something for that. That's how it works. And this is part of it right here. So we'll see what happens with this. Please let people know about this. Subscribe to the channel if you want more information like this. If you get anything out of this video, like it and share it so more people see it. And I appreciate y'all. Check out Blackout Coffee, guys and gals. This is what fuels me. People say, Jared, how do you do all this research for the channel and put out so many videos? Blackout Coffee saves the day. blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. You can use my code GNG10 if you want to try it, if you haven't already, because I think we have the best coffee, teas, and hot chocolates in this country. And it's a pretty bold thing to say, but as one of the owners, I back it up. I'll give you 10% off. Try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if you do, you help us support things like Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, and the United States military. We give coffee to our troops overseas regularly. And those are just a few of the things we do. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you on the next one. I gotta go inside and sit in a corner and calm down. Take care.